Hey guys, welcome to Just Talk TV. And today we're doing a brand new show and something that I really wanted to talk about for a while, basketball, one of my favorite sports. And today, specifically, is the beginning of our new show. It's called Run the Point. And I'm here with my co-host and friend and guest, Nathaniel Scalia.
What's up? Thanks for having me, bro.
No problem, man. It's something we've been talking
Just
about for a while now.
Yeah, because usually like y'all all just do football,
Yeah.
and this is the first time we're doing a basketball episode, so really honored to be here to speak about basketball.
Honors all my man. It's not every day I get a freestyle champion,
Oh,
NBA connoisseur, and full-on PUMA guy.
I feel like I owe him a check after what he just said.
I mean, as you can see, Scal's properly following SOP,
Yeah,
and we value that here at Just Talk TV. I gotta say.
he has a face mask built in his mouth. So.
Exactly, man. Exactly, bro. And you're going to be talking about all sorts of things when it comes to basketball. And what better time to talk about basketball than now? Rather than bore you with everything, I think it's best we just jump straight into it, right, Scal?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. All right. So, first thing I want to talk about today is the NBA draft happened this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the draft.
It
One of the
was.
most interesting times in basketball, the draft.
It's
I
so.
feel, I feel like the draft is like the road to the NBA season because that's where everything starts. The draft, and then the trade deadline, and then Christmas basketball. But in this case, the season's going to start earlier already. So just looking forward to the season, man.
Same here, man. I think everything's pretty much been sped up a bit
Yeah.
because of the whole COVID situation. That we've got NBA draft now, then we've got free agencies,
Yeah.
then after that the trade deadline, qualifying offers, all that stuff is going to be happening in concurrence with that. So that's why the draft is always like the kickstart to the new season. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that happened in this draft. So I think it's best that we go through the lottery picks because I don't want to go through every single
Yeah, that's
like
too
all
many.
60 picks of it. It's just nuts. So I think we should start off with the draft lottery. I think the 1 to 15 will be good.
Sure, let's do that, man.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's start with the first pick of the draft that happened, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Anthony Edwards.
Exactly. So
Okay, so one thing I like about this guy, he's actually a very explosive player, but at the same time, he can shoot the ball really well. So I feel like this is a very good pick for the Timberwolves. Actually, like I've been hoping for the Timberwolves to like get more pieces around them to complement Cat and D'Angelo Russell. I mean, D'Angelo Russell just joined the team last year. This season, was it this season?
yeah,
He hasn't played a full season with the Timberwolves yet, right?
he joined by trade. I remember. Yeah.
But it wasn't a full. He hasn't played a full season.
No,
right?
not
So
a
I'm
full
really looking
season.
forward to see like how they were able to go back and recalibrate and head into this season. I'm really hoping for them to at least make the playoffs. But it's not a failure even if they don't get through past the first round or whatever because there's a lot of teams coming in strong this year, as you know.
The West is loaded.
It's loaded this year.
Yeah.
So, but this is one player that I'm really looking forward to watch. Just seeing his highlights, it's just it's really nice to see the way he plays basketball, and I feel like he's very well deserving for the number one pick.
Yeah, this is a guy that led the nation as a freshman in scoring, 19 points a game.
Average.
Yeah. He led his team, Georgia, his college, won about 1.5 steals per game. He was second in his team for rebounding for a guy who plays guard. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
So he can rebound too,
Yeah.
which I feel the Timberwolves just need that presence, that strong presence in him. So I'm really looking forward to see what he does in the court.
Yeah.
I hope the Timberwolves release some like practice videos,
Yeah.
just to see how he plays with the team. Because sometimes they make all these promo videos.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to see how he plays.
I'm pretty sure that YouTube is going to have like training live sessions and
Yep.
stuff like that. I think the other cool thing about him is that I've seen some of his games and how he pretty much can go on the dribble when he penetrates into the basket. He looks almost like a James Harden
Yeah.
kind of hybrid, like that
He's
kind of player.
Like I said, he's explosive, but at the same time, he also plays good defense. He has a lot of tools to be a well-rounded basketball player. So it's just gonna be a fun season, coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I think the
Anthony.
Wolves are under a lot of pressure to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they are. I feel like this year, I feel like they are. You know,
Yeah,
you got the number one pick. You got an all star in D'Angelo Russell, and you know you got Cat. So I
yeah.
feel like you gotta at least make the playoffs.
Especially because Cat's such a talented guy. And
He is. I just feel like he's a little. Sometimes he can be soft sometimes, but if he actually plays, you know, with more heart and gives his all, he can be a force to reckon with. Because he's a great player. He has a size, can shoot the ball. He has that step back, that really nasty step back. He actually has for his size to have that step back, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So you know,
Exactly.
it's just all how they complement each other this coming season.
That's 3 offensive weapons they have now that
Yep,
could
they
literally
do.
Not to mention Jared Culver is another guy
Yeah,
they've got.
yes.
So they've got literally 4 offensive weapons they
Yeah,
can
do.
put on that court at any time.
And I hope D'Angelo Russell starts shooting more threes.
Right.
He's actually a mid-range scorer, but he should start shooting more threes as well because he has the tools, like we saw in the Warriors.
Yeah.
So
He's one of the guys that I think you like, right? Because of
Yeah.
his long range shooting and his.
I just love the way he plays. I love basketball players who play smoothly. You know, like the way D'Angelo play it's really smooth. Like whenever he plays, it's just like it's nice to watch. Like it's nice basketball.
right.
He just needs to toughen up a little more, and then he's good to go.
I think overall, Anthony Edwards is kind of like the perennial all pick number 1.
Yep.
Everyone was in every mock draft. He was basically number 1 pick. So I think it made a lot of sense to have him go number 1. And in number 2, the thing that I just want to say off the bat, I thought the Warriors were actually going to trade this pick. There were a lot of rumors surrounding
Really?
that.
Actually, this James Wiseman, I
Yeah.
heard about him. I watched some videos of him. There were some highlights at Ball's Life. It was really crazy. I really like, I almost when I watched his highlights at first, I thought he was already an NBA player. I thought he was like in the G League or something.
Right.
Because he played really well. I love watching the highlights of all these college basketball players. Like actually, if you watch them, the highlights are just really, really good. Like the level of talent these days is so much crazier, compared to. I mean, I'm not saying back then they didn't have talent, but just the talent these days are just really, really.
Up
They're
there,
just
yeah.
leveling up year after year. Like the younger generation. So it's really cool to see. I'm looking forward to see what he does with the Warriors. Speaking of the Warriors, though, Klay Thompson, he got injured.
Yeah, Klay Thompson just went down injured, and a lot of people were saying that might affect their draft direction, but it didn't happen that way. They stuck to their guns. They picked the best player available on the board.
I think with Klay Thompson gone, they're gonna have to readjust again, because last year Steph played a little bit without Klay as well. There was Draymond was there, but the rest of the team, they weren't really they weren't really a good
Anyone who
team.
could stand up, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for that Pascal guy, Eric Pascal. He played well.
He's all right. I guess he's all right. But I feel like the Warriors, they should be playing at a higher standard, higher
Right.
level, because they're the Warriors. They've been playing great basketball.
But it's impossible when you do Steph and Clay.
Yeah,
like the way they
I
did.
get it, but I just feel like this is the time for them to. I really wanted this year to be the year where they actually come back and show these people that hey, we're still here.
We're still number
Because
one.
I noticed a lot of people wrote them off when they lost last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you guys are done, which I understand because nowadays basketball fans they always live in the moment. We're all always in the moment and like we forget things that happened last season and stuff. But I'm just really looking forward to this team. Steph, Draymond's coming back. I'm waiting to see what else they do. I feel like they're still gonna do some stuff. What do you think?
I think the Warriors are right now retooling. I think their last year showed the last year showed 2 things. One, the Warriors without their star players, they don't have the same kind of fire intensity.
Yeah, I think that's what made them actually like.
Yeah.
Steph and Clay ran the
Yeah.
offense. Both of them they provide one of a kind pressure. Like when they're on the court, you gotta really be on your. You gotta really make sure you're defending really well.
Right.
Because Steph can shoot from
anywhere, yeah.
anywhere, and then you got Klay Thompson who he'll catch and shoot. He's a
Yeah.
very good scorer as well.
Not to mention defender as well.
Yeah, and then you got Draymond who I feel like this year a lot of people wrote
Kinda
Draymond
bashed
off
on,
as well.
yeah.
Well, because you can't one player can't carry a team, like that's just impossible. Like even LeBron with the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 07, was that 07?
Yeah.
I mean, one player can't carry the whole. I'm not saying Draymond is like LeBron. I'm not saying that, but one player can carry the whole team.
Yeah.
And Draymond was playing with just D'Angelo Russell, which, you know, it was his first season with the Warriors. So
Yeah.
you can't really. I feel like this whole year was just. I feel like it was just. I didn't really feel the presence of the Warriors this year.
Yeah.
They were just there, and then like they kind of disappeared after that. So
That's literally what happened to them. Yeah. They were there and then they just faded
No,
out.
I was
Yeah.
like, where did they go?
At some point in the NBA season, I thought the Warriors were pretty much mid-ranking, 5th seed, 6th seed,
Yeah.
but they just fell off after a while.
Yeah, nah, they just didn't have the right pieces to make a run.
I do think though this year, if when they retool, they've got James Wiseman now.
Yep.
They have Eric Pascal sitting on the bench. If now that they retool and Steph comes back even at 80%
Yeah.
of what he is, I think they can do something because the bench is strong.
I feel like Steph has something to prove this year.
Yeah.
Like I really feel like a lot of people wrote him off as well, but he's coming back with a fire this year. I definitely can feel that. Like if you watch Steph's training videos, oh, he's back. Like he's shooting from long range shots again. And the only sad part about this is Klay Thompson got injured.
Right.
I don't know how did he get injured, by the way? Is there any news on how
I think I heard there was like a training thing.
he was training?
It might be, yeah. Like, I think it was during training and he just went down.
Where was he training, by the way? Like did he have an exhibition game or something?
No, it was just like a on the court drills
Man.
kind of thing.
I hope it's not that bad because, regardless if you're a Warrior fan or not, you don't want to see a player get injured like that.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that. Especially with Clay, 2 years in a row. This is happening.
He's missed. I think like he's missed over 500 games in total. I feel like.
Yeah, his injury is quite serious. But like when you look at it now, with Clay going down, right, and then you got James Wiseman now, is the style going to change? Is it going to be a more transition-based offense? Because we know James Wiseman can run.
Yep.
He can run down the court.
I guess with Steve Kerr, you never know. You'll have to wait and see. I'm waiting to see some of their training videos,
Right.
to see what kind of offense they're running with. But at the same time, speaking about the draft, I actually thought the Warriors were going to draft LaMelo.
Right. Actually, we were just about
we were just about to go to
talk
LaMelo.
about LaMelo. Yeah, he was the number 3rd pick in the draft.
Pick, yeah. I wasn't surprised. Like I was actually thinking of the Charlotte Hornets. Sorry, I always get the name mistaken.
It's because the Pelicans.
New Orleans,
Hornets,
yeah. So I was surprised, but at the same time I wasn't surprised too because I knew they needed. I knew that the James Wiseman was going to come in second. Actually, a part of me thought he was going to come in first as well. So he was either first or second. But as the draft went on, I already knew that
he was coming in 3rd.
Yeah, he was coming in 3rd because I feel like LaMelo fits well with the Hornets because he can play. He can build. It's not like it's under any pressure or anything. He can actually learn to grow and develop into the basketball player that he's meant to be. And with Michael Jordan there, it's gonna be cool. I hope Jordan and LeVar plays that one-on-one.
Jordan and LeVar, is a story that is going to be written somehow.
But it's just really interesting. Melo's definitely box office. He's gonna bring a lot of eyes to the NBA as well because he went overseas.
Yep.
Pretty sure Australia. His old teammates and the fans are gonna be watching him as well. I liked what he did in Australia actually. Like he played honestly, like compared to what he did in Lithuania, he actually played much better in Australia.
Right.
I feel like in Lithuania he wasn't really happy there.
I think his body was more developed in Australia.
Yeah, and even there in Lithuania he was just like whatever, let me just do whatever here. But like in Australia, you could see him really he grew, He grew and he started doing more things. He started being a team player.
Yeah.
I noticed he started being more a team player. Like whereas before that all he did was just shot the ball.
The thing about LaMelo that I like, and sometimes the stats don't pop up because in the Australian League he averaged about 17 points a game, and he had about 7 assists per game. You'd say that and you'd be like, that's all right. I mean, it's not like fantastical numbers, but at the same time, when you actually watched him play in Australia, his passing is just, it's NBA. Like
I feel like with LaMelo, like even with Lonzo, it's the intangibles. Like you can't really see, like it doesn't really show up on the stat sheet, but like when they're on the court, it's so obvious that like the offense is more smoother with them on the court. Like with Lonzo, I feel like that's the same thing with Lonzo. A lot of people just look at the stats and like, Oh
LaMelo's
man, like,
brother, yeah.
yeah, Alonzo being Lamelo's brother. I feel like these days, like people just kind of look at the stats. You know, they don't really like, even if someone played great defense or whatever. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're just gonna look at the stats. Like, oh, how many
Yeah.
did he score? Like, how many assists did he give? You know, it's a very stat game these days. But Lamelo definitely passed the eye test. You know, I'm really looking forward to see what he does with Charlotte is very. I don't really know what they're gonna do at this point because Charlotte like they haven't really been making any noise. So it's really interesting to see what they do. I'm hoping Jordan, does something cool for the team and bring in more pieces so they can actually contend one day. But I'm pretty sure this season is just gonna be a development season for LaMelo. Get used to the NBA play style and stuff like that. So yeah.
LaMelo Ball is probably the biggest name in this draft
Yep.
because he's been in a TV reality show with his
Easily,
dad, with LeVar. Obviously, we all know that.
LeVar.
Dude has about 6 million Instagram followers or something.
Yeah, he has a BBB, but he's not with BBB.
Yeah, he's not on
anymore.
BB. He's your like
Yeah,
blood soulmate now, right?
Yeah,
With the whole
because-
Puma thing.
yeah, because Melo signed with Puma.
Yeah.
I'm also an ambassador for Puma.
Yeah.
That's really cool because I feel like LaMelo, he has this vibe where like he's different, like, and that's what he always say. He always say like, he's out of this world, and Puma is just. I feel like they're like the game changer these days. They make a lot of like they're coming in strong, and then like the one thing with Puma I like as well is they're getting a lot of the younger players, the rookies. Like every time like draft day comes, they'll like take a look at all these rookies and sign them.
Right.
So it's really nice to see that Melo chose Puma.
That's another thing that's even greater for Charlotte because Charlotte now has someone who is with a brand and also a big name. They've not had that. Like
Yeah.
I feel over the time, Charlotte's lacked that star power, and with a guy like LaMelo, not to mention he's a point guard who can pass. Like with that, he's gonna make his teammates better.
Yeah, I feel like he'll definitely make his teammates better. And yeah, you're right. They never had a star. The only time people look at the team is because of Jordan.
Or Kemba Walker.
Yeah, and Kemba's gone now.
Yeah.
He left. But if that's the thing I was worried about. If Kemba couldn't really do it, I was wondering what would Melo do. But we'll see. I guess it's all up in the air right now. As to what they do.
Yeah.
So
I like the fact that LaMelo's a guy who's also going to like, he brings the star power, right?
Yep.
And you can imagine now people are going to buy Charlotte jerseys.
no, definitely.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine
Ball.
how marketable that is?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like like I said, he's definitely box office.
Yeah,
Melo.
he's
What do you think
Hollywood.
of his brother? LiAngelo.
Dude?
Do you
Like,
think he's gonna be in the NBA someday?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think Leandro's ever going to be in the NBA only because I feel like his stock has kind of taken a hit.
Yep.
And after all that stuff that happened to him in China with that ceiling stuff and all of that, I feel like his destiny is not in the NBA.
Yeah, but I hope they do. I hope like the NBA don't pass him on. I feel like he can make a difference
contribute.
there. Like just because Jello can play ball. Like he can play ball really well.
Jello, his draft profile was a 3-and-D kind of thing. Like he
Yeah.
can shoot and he can rebound and
Yep.
stuff like that. He was a pretty like functional role player. That was his projection. So,
But I feel like Jello, given the opportunity, like right now, like example right now, we know like he's hungry to prove himself because of what happened, right?
right.
I feel like if we give him a chance, like we don't. Because I just don't. I've never doubted the Ball brothers. I feel like all
Right.
three of them are special players.
Right.
Of course, I got Lonzo as the best, and then Melo next. But that doesn't mean I'm writing off Jello. I really
Yeah.
hope to see him at least in the G League or something, and hopefully make his way to the NBA. So.
I think he's looking at free agency if he wants to go on that route.
I mean, if Jared Dudley can make a bench, come on, give Jello a chance. Don't do this.
You gotta do Jared Dudley dirty like that, bro. Like isn't he a NBA champion now?
It's so funny,
technically?
oh my god. We'll talk about the Lakers later.
Yeah, in a bit.
We're still in the draft.
So now I'm gonna go to my personal thing in this draft, which everyone bear with me, okay? Like I'm gonna let it out first, okay? As you all know, Chicago Bulls represent.
Bulls.
I got a rep for the Bulls. They're my team, and last few years not been great.
It's
been bad.
definitely not been great.
No, it has not been great.
They showed signs of hope when they got Zach LaVine.
And
like
Lowry,
like a spark. a spark.
I do want to say that what happened when the regime changed this year? They brought in a new general manager, they brought in a new VP, and they brought in a new coach. All three who I like: Mark Eversley, I like; Arturas Karnaservis, I like; and Coach Billy Donovan, I like so far, right?
We'll
I
see
think
how he does with the Bulls.
with the Bulls, yeah, I want to see how he does. But then today, with the draft, I was like, number one, it's the fourth pick. We never draft at number 4. We're always at freaking number 7 every single bloody year.
Yeah.
And now we have the fourth
the
pick.
chance to be number 4.
And I was like, please let LaMelo drop to us, because I wanted LaMelo to come to the Bulls.
Oh,
man.
really? You wanted LaMelo to the Bulls?
I wanted LaMelo to come to the Bulls, and I was like,
How do you think he'll play with the Bulls, though? You think he'll play well with the Bulls?
do you know what? Just Zach run, LaMelo throw the ball.
Yo, you know,
It's over.
I like that idea. I like that idea. You know,
It's just the alley-oop
and
combination.
it's kind of.
made it
It's,
happen,
I could imagine that too. You know, it's kind of easy to imagine.
yeah.
I would have preferred that over Charlotte, to be honest with y'all.
Man, I would have loved that too, but you know. So what do the Bulls do? The Bulls draft a 19-year-old guy, the youngest guy in this draft.
Yeah.
He's the youngest aged kid in this draft, and he played for Florida State. His name is Patrick Williams, and straight off the bat, I like Patrick Williams as a player, but I do not like Patrick Williams as a player picked at number 4.
Number 4. Yeah, I get that too.
There were a lot of players that were projected. All right, one was Danny Avdija. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And there was a few other players. I wouldn't have minded if we had gone with Isaac Okoro or Killian Hayes, for example. Another 2 players that we'll talk about. But they went with Patrick Williams, and for me, I'm like, okay, I know why they did this, because Arturas Karnaservis, the new VP, is all about the player development.
Yeah.
He wants to take a player that is completely raw
And make them a star.
and make him into a star. See, the thing about Patrick is, for his size, he's 6'8".
Yeah.
He's built like an NBA player for sure.
Yeah, he is.
Like his physical ability and profile is there. If you want to talk about a kid who's built for it, he's got that. But his skill set is not developed.
Yeah.
And he didn't even start in college. He
Yep.
played as
He's
a
a bench
sixth
player.
man.
He was a bench player.
Yeah, he literally played as a 6th man in Florida State.
But you know, to be honest with you, like there's some players I know in college, like they were bench players, and they entered the NBA and they work twice as hard, and all of a sudden they're great players.
Right.
So I don't want to write this guy off just yet. You know, I'm
Yeah.
hoping for the Bulls to make a run as well, because Zach LaVine is actually one of my favorite players,
Right.
and I kind of feel bad for him. He's like alone there, you know.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing that I have. If you want to pick this player,
Yeah.
why not trade back, get some assets,
Yep.
and trade and draft him in 9th or 10th or even
Yeah.
7th. Lord knows we picked from 7th anyway,
Yeah.
so we might as well just go back to the source. You know what I mean? Tap the well, as they say.
Yeah.
But like instead, you do this reach, and it feels like a reach. And now I'm just left to wonder: is he going to start? What's his role going to be this season? Is this a situation where we're going to actually go get a point guard in free agency? All these questions come to mind with the Bulls.
Yep.
Because Karnaservis has said, we want to challenge this year for a playoff spot. And I just feel like,
Do you think they'll make the playoffs?
oh man, it really depends how Billy Donovan, because Zach, I know what Zach wants to be, and I know that he's a guy who is a fantastic player.
Oh, yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah.
You know, I think like he should be improving his defense,
Right.
but offense,
I
he has the
think-
tools.
My biggest problem with Zach is, Zach's skill set is what it is.
Yep.
He's not going to be a primary playmaker.
Yeah.
Zach's our scorer, and I want that to be his
Yep,
role.
That's his role.
The playmaking role needs to be done by someone on this team,
Yeah.
but I just don't know who it's going to be.
It's
at this
definitely not
point.
going to be the guy the Bulls drafted.
Kobe White.
Definitely is not going to be the guy they drafted.
Oh, you mean Patrick Williams?
Patrick Williams.
Funny fact about this kid, in high school he was a point guard.
Really?
Yeah.
High school?
In high school he played point guard.
Wow. Okay.
Only when he joined college.
He's a shooting forward, right?
Yeah, he's a small forward now.
Small forward.
Yeah, he was 5'11" in high school. Now he's 6'8".
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's curious how he works.
6'8". Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
He grew.
he grew, man. Like he grew, and forget about stats because his stats are all not.
Yeah, so I think
nonsense.
like that's the cool thing about this is I'm pretty sure he knows, like, cause I'm pretty sure he reads the stuff. Like people are doubting him already.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I hope at the same time I'm happy whenever I see a player make it to the NBA. I hope he comes in with a fire this season and shut all of us up.
Right.
And so, but I'm really just hoping for the Bulls.
I mean, look, honestly, if he comes in and shuts me up, I'm okay. I'll shut up.
The Bulls used to be one of the most popular teams in the world.
Yeah, man.
The glory days of obviously Jordan and stuff.
Yep.
There was one point where the Bulls were like as big as like, the boy bands back in the day, NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys. Like they were like a touring rock band, the Bulls, whenever they went to games and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to see them get back there.
It's not even that. Like, those were the golden era.
Yeah.
And then we had the bronze era with the Rose and my boy Joakim Noah. And never forget Joakim Noah, bro.
Yeah.
Like that guy is like a passionate player. One of the most passionate guys.
I want to talk about Joakim Noah later.
Yeah, we can talk. We can
let's
definitely
move forward.
Let's talk about the next player, and it's
Isaac
Okoro. Straight away, I'll say he's a Dwayne Wade comparison
player.
guy. Yeah.
Really? Why'd you say that?
I'd say that he's got that burst of energy, that speed, and the hop. In the hops,
Let's see his stats.
and the hops for him, like when he jumps, he hits some pretty high vertical leaps there. And what I especially like about him is he works without the ball. So there's a lot of passing that he does without holding the ball that makes him unique. And this guy, I think, at his best, could be comparable to Dwayne Wade if he goes the right way. I think pretty much he's also one of those guys who knows how to like score in bunches, but also defensively, he's considered like a juggernaut.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's definitely one of those guys, Isaac Okoro.
I haven't seen much of his highlights, but I do know that I haven't seen much. I just saw a little bit. One thing I heard is that like he has a good IQ for basketball,
Right.
and he can score the ball pretty well as well. Although he wasn't really averaging a high number in college. What was his average in college?
I think about 12 points a game.
Yeah, he wasn't really averaging.
Yeah.
I guess with him is also the intangibles.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to watch this guy.
Yeah.
I feel like this draft, for me personally, I just feel like it's the most random draft ever. It's so random. Like
I don't think we like to call drafts weak, but it's like been a pretty low key draft after after number 3 we're pretty much
after
going,
number 3 was all weird, like all over the place.
Whoever goes,
The number 3 was like in any order it would have been fine for me.
Fine, yeah. Those top 3 are gonna be mentioned in history. Like if they grow how we expect them to, we're really talking for those 3 guys. The rest of them are pretty much up in the air.
Yeah.
But what I like about Isaac Okoro is the fact that first he's like you said, he's an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
I watched where he was breaking down game tape with the draft analysis guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was very much like recognizing what his weak points were, recognizing where he best suits.
Good
and
IQ.
that kind of guy, he's smart.
To be honest, like a lot of people think like okay, the IQ stuff, they don't show up on the stat board.
Yeah, they don't.
But it's actually very important. Like even this year's NBA Finals, not the finals. I keep thinking the Clippers made the finals. No, they didn't. The second round when the Clippers got eliminated, even Kawhi said they lack basketball IQ. So regardless of how talented your players are, if they don't have the IQ to make the plays go well, it's not going to go anywhere. So that's one of the intangibles for basketball, which is great that Isaac Okoro has that.
I don't have any much hopes for Cavaliers this season, so I'm
Cavs.
The next thing right now.
Oh, this is so random. Like,
so for the 6th pick, it was Onyeka Okongwu.
Okay, with this player, I haven't really seen much highlights about him. But what do you think of him as a player? All I do know is that he scores. All I do know is he can score the ball.
Yeah, he's pretty much your center right now, like your prototypical all-round center who can score in bunches and defend your rim. Yeah,
like one of the new generation centers who can
definitely
score really well.
Yeah, he's probably not, like the thing about him. The thing that pops out about me is his 3 blocks. So he's pretty much a guy who's not going to let you pass. Basically.
Oh, he is scoring well, good numbers.
He's a good scorer. He's got blocks, and like for me, this season he had about like 11 doubles for a season that was cut in half because of the COVID situation. This
is a great player, and I wish now, like Trae Young, you got a good player now.
Oh man, yeah.
So
that's the thing I'm looking forward to, the Trae Young pick and rolls with this guy.
Yeah, Trae Young, y'all got to do something this year. Last year, they asked Trae Young.
They gave him a pass.
What do you think of losing? And he said it doesn't make him feel good. Yeah. But we gave him a pass because of his team.
Yeah.
But this year, you got this guy. And we'll see what else, like what other changes they make.
Because we all know that one thing that Trae Young is really good at doing is his screen pick and roll passing.
Oh, yeah. He's good at that.
Yeah, and imagine if you got this guy, right? This kid is like tall as hell.
Yep.
If you throw lobs up to them, it's like the perfect kill combo, right?
Yeah.
And especially it gives him more spacing to shoot the three.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think him, and then they got John Collins as well on this team, who's had some problem with the law. Yeah, yeah, you know. And so they've had some problems with the law and all this stuff. But then they've got Trae Young, Okongwu, DeAndre Hunter. They've got a lot of players on this team
Play well.
that can play well. They just need to come together.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good year for Trae Young.
But I still think this year is gonna be do you think they'll make the playoffs?
It's hard to tell.
It's hard
man.
to tell. It's too
No,
many.
but then it's the East, so they can make the playoffs. It's not impossible.
Oh, definitely, it's not impossible.
But Trae Young needs to not be a liability on defense.
Yeah, he is. I feel like that's his. And one more thing is, I just feel like Trae Young should stop forcing shots. I noticed that sometimes. He actually kind of force shots sometimes.
But I'm pretty sure that's something that the coaches are telling him to do.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He's a
yeah.
shooter, but if you want to play, I mean, it's a team game. You know, if
Yeah.
you want to actually make a good run for
Ball
the
movement.
playoffs, move the ball properly. Like Steph. One of the great things about Steph is he's not afraid to share the ball.
Sure.
Like he can shoot from anywhere. Like he's always passing. He doesn't mind passing the ball. I feel like this is something that Trae should learn and develop into a more well-rounded player, not just shooting the ball. You know.
Interesting thing about Onyeka Okongwu, he was from Chino Hills.
Yeah. Same with LaMelo.
Yeah, LaMelo, Lonzo. Man, that's three players from in the NBA now from Chino Hills.
Chino Hills represent.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. And that's and the best part about it is that he's 7 foot, right? And if you think about it, the market for centers like this is you always need to go out and find this kind of center.
Yep.
But to get one guy like this in the draft, that's going to change a lot of prospects for Atlanta. They've got a lot of good stuff going forward.
Yep, it is. I'm actually really just interested to see what happens this year when the season starts. I just feel like it's gonna be it's very unpredictable this upcoming season.
Very unpredictable, man.
I'm just really looking forward.
Yeah.
Killian Hayes.
Yeah, man. Number 7,
Point guard.
Detroit. Number 7.
That's
Hayes.
what position is Derrick Rose playing in?
Point guard.
He's PG too as well, right?
Yeah.
I just remembered. But do you think they're gonna trade Derrick Rose?
Yeah.
Because I've seen like other teams showed interest.
No, I think he's an unrestricted free agent.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
But the thing about D Rose is I feel like he can still play well. You know, he actually played well. Like he wasn't injured this season. He actually played well.
The problem with D Rose is he's always gonna have to live up to the
hype that he once had.
Yeah,
you know?
that he once had.
Yeah.
And the issue with Detroit is, are they really as good as we think that they are good? Like, I mean, they've got Blake Griffin, I guess. That's one thing.
Yep.
And whether or not like the pieces around
do you think Blake
that,
Griffin's gonna stay?
I don't know. But I think that it would do well for Blake to stay.
That's a solid team. We got Blake Griffin. If Derrick Rose, somehow comes back to his
Somehow.
you can only hope.
You can
His
only
MVP
hope, man.
form, and then you got this guy coming in here. I feel like they'll make a good run. I want to see Detroit back in playoff basketball. I want to see Detroit back, and hopefully one day Detroit and Chicago can recreate their rivalry.
Man, they hated each other. They still hate each other.
Yeah, they still
like freaking. They can't even look at each other. It's like
Yeah, you know what's funny is the Jordan logo is going to be on all the city jerseys.
Oh crap!
Every team, so even the Detroit Pistons jerseys.
Even Detroit.
Yeah, Jordan's just owning everyone, even without playing the
if you watched Last Dance and you saw how much Jordan went at Isaiah,
he was mad,
man. But then I loved Jordan for that because they really went at him. They made rules and stuff, and they beat
made
him
the Jordan
down.
rules. And to be honest with you, I don't blame Jordan for losing. His first few years. A lot of people always say that he's losing. Well, you know what? We're getting off topic. We'll talk about Jordan later.
Right, yeah. So basically, about Killian Hayes, he's French, but he played in the German league. He's one of the Euro prospects this year that has come in. And what I like about Killian Hayes is that he's got playmaking ability. He's got good experience in professional European leagues.
Yep. Won a gold medal.
And he won a gold medal, yeah. That's another impressive thing about the guy. In the FIBA, he won a gold medal in the FIBA championships under 16.
Under 17.
Yeah, and under 17s as well. Yep, he got a silver in that one. And then he did. He went in the German league last year. And what I saw some tape of him, and what I liked about him is the guy can dribble, he can put up points, but he knows how to, like what you were saying earlier about Trae, he knows how to pin the ball around.
Yep.
And the spread is really good. And his IQ is creative, like it's very creatively high.
Yeah.
And so you can see the variation in his passing.
Definitely.
It wasn't very highly talked about.
Yeah, he's a creative passer, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what he does. It's just like I said, it's going to be a really unpredictable, you know, season, you know.
I think the only problem with this kid, right, is sometimes we don't know point guards when they come over from these European leagues and all. Like Ricky Rubio. Remember? He was like this artist of passing or something.
Yep.
Like the Lionel Messi of passing or something like that. Like
he comes in Phoenix.
Yeah, he came to
I mean,
the
he came,
Timberwolves.
I mean, like in the Phoenix, he wasn't really playing the way I wanted him to play in the Phoenix. Yeah, so, but in the Timberwolves and like that's the thing, you know. It's like I said, you never really know once they hit the NBA, like what will they be doing, you know. So, I'm just really looking forward to see how they play.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm looking.
I just want to at least see one game from each player, you know. Like right now, like I just hope like they start playing a game tomorrow. Just want to see how they play, you know.
I'm pretty sure they'll have the scrimmages on YouTube.
Yeah,
they'll have a few like of those training scrimmages.
Because to be honest with you, like you know, you have all this stats and everything on paper. Some may look good, some may not look good. But I've seen like let me give you an example. Like Isaiah Thomas,
Right.
he was like number 40 or something in the second round,
Right.
and he became an all-star. So ever since that draft, like I just stopped looking at things in the paper. I just I wanted to wait to see them in the NBA and see how they deliver.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I think the one good thing that we can say about these things is that the reason why Killian would go above another point guard, for example, would be because he's got a lot of ability, and that's why they did a lot of analysis on him and they see it. But yeah, you're right. We won't know until we see them play, right?
Yeah.
So the next guy we're going to talk about at number 8.
Yeah, one of my favorites actually.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks selected Obi Toppin at number 8. Obi Toppin probably was considered the MVP of the regular season in the college basketball scene. They said he was probably the best player, but for some reason he didn't go up in the top 5, which I thought was a bit surprising.
Yeah, surprising.
Yeah, but holy crap, this is a really good pick for New York.
Yep.
I like it.
Actually, I wasn't sure because I felt like the New York Knicks needed a guard because they already have Julius Randle and these other players. And I also heard. What do you think about Russell Westbrook joining the Knicks?
Cool.
I heard that he was interested to join the Knicks.
That. You know what? The Knicks need it because they need a guy like Russ. You know, RJ Barrett's great. He's going to be a good player. He's going to be a serviceable player. But a guy like Russ fits New York because that's what New York is.
Speaking of that, RJ Barrett, you know, I almost forgot about him, you know, because he wasn't really making any noise this year.
Yeah, he had some pretty solid double-doubles during the season, but he wasn't as consistent as you would think because I think it's the NBA game mainly that.
Like I said, he wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
But now you got RJ Barrett, you got Julius Randle, and then obviously you got Obi Toppin coming in.
And then you got Mitchell Robinson, who's a very underrated center as well.
You know, the thing about the Knicks is I feel like they've just been, you know, there's some people even telling them to sell the team.
Yeah,
you know.
James Dolan, yeah.
But I just want to see the Knicks get back because, like, you know, New York basketball is actually, New York is the mecca of basketball.
Yeah. So, Madison Square Garden, and nothing more to say about that, right?
And then Madison Square Garden, everyone wants to play there.
But the funny thing about Madison Square Garden is it's always like the historical point maker for other teams' players.
Always.
like LeBron's put how many points there, and D Rose did it once.
Yep.
And Jordan obviously made that his home. Kobe.
Yeah.
You know.
So definitely, but I just want to see New York Knicks get back up. Other than that, Obi Toppin's dad used to play for the N1 Mixtape Tour, but not really the original N1 Mixtape Tour. It was a remix one, the next one that came after that called Court Kings.
Court Kings, right.
Yeah, I actually played against Court Kings. I teamed up with them, actually.
Oh, damn, nice.
Yeah, they toured Malaysia, and I teamed up with them. Yeah. But his father wasn't there at the time. But his father's nickname is Dunker's Delight. I feel like that's where he got his dunking ability. He's actually a very, he's a leaper. He's an explosive player. He has good dunks. So I'm really looking forward to see where Obi Toppin goes from here.
Yo, Scal, I have a question for you, right? And it's completely unrelated.
Sure, what's up?
I've played some basketball, like school level basketball, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, How like I've never seen someone dunk in
Really? In real
not
life?
in like right in front of me.
You've never seen someone
I've
dunk?
never seen someone dunk. Like how difficult is it to dunk actually?
I think, to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of people think it's height, which I do feel like height is also a very big factor to
Right.
it. But a lot of it has to do with your leaping ability, how high you jump, and how athletic you are as a person. Like Iverson wasn't that tall,
Right.
could dunk too. Another player, the professor, he's a street ball player.
Right.
It wasn't that he's not that tall. He's really short actually, not super short, but he's not that tall, and he can dunk too. So I feel like it's all about how athletic you are as a player. Like I feel like there's drills for that. Like how you dunk and stuff. So I just feel like local schools in Malaysia don't really they don't really teach that stuff.
Yeah, they don't even teach
Long way to
basketball
go.
in general.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
So-
but honestly, like if you look at it, right, and you say like you're someone who's playing basketball as a kid or something, and you want to dunk,
Yep.
right? Like, what would you say to that kind of kid? Because our muscles are probably not the same, you know what I mean, as the people from overseas sometimes. At least that's how generally people think, right?
Yep.
Like if you look at someone in the NBA and you're going, holy crap, that guy can dunk, I can never do that.
Yeah, I just feel like you mean like here in Malaysia?
I mean, yeah, in Malaysia, anywhere like ASEAN.
Yeah, I just feel like they don't have the facilities for that yet. But at the same time, I don't think it's whole Asia. I think like other countries are starting to dunk really well.
Not like the
The
Philippines.
Philippines are dunking
Yeah.
well. Indonesia as well, actually.
Right? Indonesia.
Yeah, they're dunking well. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen like crazy dunkers from like Thailand or whatever.
Then again,
Singapore.
maybe if we have a dunk contest here, we could like find out.
Yeah, they'll probably lower the rim. So Obi Toppin, nowhere to go.
Yeah, man. Oh,
but
look,
the top.
Obi Toppin, right? The good thing about Obi Toppin is New York need a highlight guy.
Yeah, they do.
They need a because
But they have RJ Barrett though.
But RJ's not a highlight guy. Every time I watch him play, right, the one thing I notice is RJ is a very solid player, but he's not gonna give you that jump off the
Showtime.
Showtime,
Yeah.
like that explosiveness,
Yeah.
that you want in some players.
Yep.
And like I think that brings the show, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like the Knicks need that show.
Definitely.
It helps. And if you get Russ, oh crap.
Oh, that's the thing.
Like give up, right?
Actually, I didn't want Russell to join the Knicks. I really was like, I just feel like the Knicks are cursed for some reason.
They're cursed, yeah.
But now that they got Obi Toppin,
Yeah.
I hope Russell joins. I rather he join here than other teams.
Yeah.
Like join because like you stay with Houston, like they're rebuilding. I heard James Harden is leaving
Yeah.
anyway, and now you got the Knicks. They got some solid players. Julius Randle's still young, actually.
Yeah.
Then you got Obi, like we're talking, RJ Barrett, Russell Westbrook there. I feel like there's a good squad there. It's
Yeah.
a good squad right there.
Obi's another guy. He was crying during his interview, by the way.
Yeah, crying.
He really loves New York. Like they're from New York, right?
Yeah, that's his hometown.
Yeah, that's his hometown, and that's such a touching story for me, and I like that move. So at number 9 was a guy who I thought, yeah.
I honestly feel like this is the biggest steal for me personally.
You think it's a steal?
I feel like it's the biggest
I'm on the fence about it, but look, he was linked to the Bulls, right? At
Yep.
number 9, the Wizards picked Danny Avdija. He was linked to Chicago for the longest time.
Yep.
His EuroLeague links
Everything.
and all this stuff.
And that was why I was also surprised. I thought Chicago was gonna get him.
So when we picked Patrick Williams, and when Chicago picked Patrick Williams, I thought, oh man, what? Why? And I thought, why didn't we pick Danny Avdija? Maybe the Cavs will take him, and then the Cavs didn't take him, and then the Hawks didn't take him, and then
I was surprised actually when he became when he was the 9th pick. I was
Ninth
like,
pick,
oh wow, I thought he would have been a bit in the earlier stages of the draft, but
Did you think that he was gonna drop this far?
no, I didn't think so.
You thought he would go in top 5 or something?
Yeah, I thought he was like maybe number 6 or 5.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would be number 9, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a steal. For me personally, I feel like it's a steal. Watch when the season starts, bro.
Yeah.
We'll get back and do this video, and I want you I want you to show this part that I'm saying this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Danny's a serviceable guy. He's definitely a skilled enough basketball player.
Very good ball IQ.
But here's what Danny doesn't have. I feel like he hasn't yet received the NBA physical profile.
The competition from the NBA.
Yeah, and the competition,
Yeah.
understanding NBA. And not to mention, here's the other thing. His biggest problem, there's too many comparisons to Luka.
Yeah, I've
Luka
seen
Doncic.
I've seen the comparisons too, but I guess for now, what I'm gonna say is
He's not Luka.
of course he's not Luka, but
He's not.
Luka's like I feel like Luka's just a once in a generational talent because Luka just came in and kind of, but at the same time we didn't expect Luka to be this way. Come on, the Hawks traded Luka, so we didn't expect him to be that way. But so let's wait to see this guy. And see
I'm
what
just
he does.
saying that this kid is. I think he's okay, but there's some things I have an issue with.
You feel like he's overhyped?
I think his shooting mechanics are a bit off.
Okay.
I think his the majority of shots he does get is through transition. That's great.
Okay.
I do think that he's a serviceable passer, but when you look at it, there are better passers in this draft that I can look at. Like Killian Hayes is a better passer. LaMelo is a
Obviously
first class passer. And if you're going to go down that route, there's like so many other ways you could do it. I wouldn't have been mad if the Bulls picked Denny, actually.
Really?
If the Bulls had picked Denny at number 4, I kind of expected this because the Bulls were high on. They were high.
Yep.
Some people said, whether or not that's the case, but I do see that there are some flaws in Denny's game, where it seems like he's been very hyped to the point where
he's kind of really hyped.
And the reason why everyone gives me why he's hyped, because Luka. Because look at last year's Luka, this year's Luka.
They think like it's gonna happen every year.
Before Luka, it was look at this year's Dirk Nowitzki, next year's Dirk Nowitzki. It's like we're all waiting for that pie in the sky. European talent that's gonna come and change the world or something.
But I'm really excited to see what this guy does.
Yeah. I'm also excited to see how he does. I just I'm not like
the Wizards. What do you think about John Wall though? You think it's coming?
And he's gonna come back in his injury this year, right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think the Wizards, if they hang on to Bradley Beal, they've got Rui Hachimura as well. Yeah.
But I heard Bradley Beal is trying to move.
Yeah, I've heard he's trying to move as well. Yeah.
I just hope he don't though. And John Wall should stop getting injured. The guy gets injured all the time. You know how he got injured was he had an accident at home.
Oh damn!
He fell down and he got injured.
That's like the what's that fella's name? The center who got injured playing bowling, that one
Who's
time. Bynum.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He got injured playing bowling.
Yeah, he was playing bowling. The ball fell on his leg or something. And
I didn't know that. Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Bynum, yeah. He used to play for the Lakers.
Yeah,
The ball fell on his leg, and he literally got injured for the rest of the season.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kobe was pissed.
I would only imagine Kobe's reaction.
Kobe was pissed.
Kobe's reaction was, "What are you doing playing bowling? You should be."
You should be at home resting or some shit.
If you got injured, even if you got injured, but at least if you were playing basketball,
right.
I'm pretty sure Kobe would have appreciated that.
You went hard. I can respect that, man.
You got injured playing bowling.
Like, I don't know, man. There's some silly ways some people are like. I think one guy broke his hand once by like throwing his hand against the wall or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened
That's funny.
as well. Well, I don't understand it. I personally, I'm a bit meh on the Wizards because the Wizards are kind of like they don't impress me as a team.
Really? Yeah.
They're not impressive.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I do. I also kind of agree to that, but we'll see what happens when John Wall comes back.
The only thing I like about the Wizards right now is that my boy Rui Hachimura is playing on there.
Oh yeah.
And he's representing Asia right now. Yep. So
I'm just really looking forward to see John Wall coming back. Like it's been so long,
It has been, yeah.
John Wall's a great two-way player, and I just want to watch John Wall play basketball.
The problem is right now with John Wall, the biggest issue, I think Damian Lillard is kind of having John Wall's career. Really? Right now, it's like it should be John Wall,
that should have been
hitting
John
all
Wall.
those game winners and stuff, and Damian Lillard took his powers and I'm going to do all of it now.
Speaking of two-way, we got Jalen Smith. Drafted to the Phoenix Suns.
Man, the Suns have been busy.
Oh, they have been busy.
They've been very busy, man.
This guy can play two-way as well.
Yeah, he's a two-way guy, and he's like a double-double average guy.
Double average.
That's really rare in college basketball.
Yep, it is. I really think the Suns, I feel like they can play really well this year. They got CP3. A lot of people are doubting CP3, but CP3, just because he's aging, that doesn't mean anything. Like, look at this season. What's the best thing about CP3 is his mindset, like his basketball IQ. He's a very smart player.
Probably one of the smartest in the league.
Yeah, and honestly, he's my favorite point guard ever.
Is it?
Yeah, he's my favorite point guard ever.
Wait, ever?
Ever, like my favorite point.
More than Derrick Rose.
Yeah, more than Derrick Rose.
More than
look at
Isaiah
Chris
Thomas.
Paul, more than Isaiah Thomas. look at Chris Paul's longevity, like the way how long has he been playing at that level?
Right.
You know, I just feel like and okay, maybe before this year I had Isaiah. I'm not saying that he's a better player than Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that I prefer him over Isaiah. Like, look at Chris Paul. Like this year, he took an OKC team that's like inexperienced. No, I'm not saying they're nothing, but like no one expected him to get that far. They weren't even, no one expected him to even make the playoffs. So for them to
in
make
the West,
for them to make it that far, much respect, CP3. I'm looking forward to see how he actually teaches.
Devin Booker,
and also
Jalen Smith.
I'm really looking forward to see how he teaches them to play, because CP3 is a great teacher. In fact, Devin Booker attended CP3's training camp. So this is gonna be a really fun team, the Phoenix Suns. It's funny because Charles Barkley has been trolling them for so long.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
like but then Charles is like an icon there.
Yeah.
Look, it makes sense. He had the MVP season there.
So I really want to see what Phoenix does this year.
I will say this about Jalen. I'll talk a bit about Jalen, and then I want to talk about CP3 because it's interesting, because this is a guy, right, who pretty much knows how to score, rebound, defend, everything. He's
all-around player.
He's also, like, when we talk about Onyeka Okongwu, right? This guy is probably the third best blocker in college basketball. Third. He's got 2.3 blocks.
Wow.
Yeah, per game. And that's so good for a team like the Suns, because now we're talking about CP3, right? If they initiate this kid and somehow gets him up to speed somewhat, then they've got Mikal Bridges, then they've got Cameron Johnson, 2 wing players they can use.
I feel like CP3 is in a better position this year.
Yeah. And then not to mention, the biggest thing about it is CP3 is going to have his big man partner again.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, remember when they were DeAndre Jordan, Lob City, all that? Lob City going to come back, man.
Yeah.
Except it'll be in the Suns, right?
Suns.
It'll be like the lobbing sun or something.
Speaking of Lob City, I'm going to talk about the Clippers later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Clippers in a bit. I want to just say that the CP3 thing, if he can make that Suns team into a playoff team, I think he's great, legit.
Yep,
damn legit. So we want to talk about the next pick now after Jalen Smith, who I think was a pretty good player. But if you want to talk about players who are in this draft that were kind of interesting to me anyway, you got to talk about Devin Vassell.
Oh, yeah.
He's from the same team as Patrick Williams.
For the Spurs, yep. Yeah, I know.
The Spurs picking, it's Pop's pick, Greg Popovich. His picking Devin Vassell. And he played for Florida State, where Patrick Williams is from.
So what kind of a player he is anyway? I didn't hear much about him.
He's a small forward, pretty much the same. He's the guy that starts, by the way, over the kid. He was one of the primary scorers in Florida State. Oh. Florida State was considered to be number 1 or 2 ranked team in the nation. So the great thing about him is he's a great athlete, right? He's got good power movements with the ball. Even off the ball, he's a great.
He looks like he can fill up a stat sheet.
Yeah.
And he's going to be playing for Coach Pop.
Yep.
Which is it's always a great thing.
I think Pop loves it when his players can move without the ball.
Yeah, actually, he loves that, and he also loves players who can play basketball and be fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
Like this player looks like based on the stats I'm seeing, he looks like he's an all-rounded player. So it's gonna be nice to see what he does. Do you think DeMar is going to be moving teams, or he's going to be staying with the Spurs?
If I was LaMarcus, I wouldn't move. But the thing is that there's a lot of trade rumors going around.
It's sad to see what happened to the Spurs, man. Like, I just feel like they just don't have that,
No, but I got to say something that's going to be a bit contentious. But I think they screwed up. They screwed up trading for DeMar.
Really? Yeah.
I think so, because I'm not taking a dig at DeMar or anything. I'm sure DeMar's a good player, but DeMar's not a championship-winning player.
Of course, they couldn't win even in Toronto,
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it was that they let Kawhi leave, and then they brought in DeMar DeRozan.
But actually, Kawhi wanted to leave,
He did want to leave, but at the same time, you could have held out.
Yeah,
maybe traded him somewhere else for another player.
Yeah.
Because DeMar DeRozan has made this team kind of
I feel like that was such a petty thing because they wanted to put Kawhi. I'm not saying that this is a fact, but
Yeah.
I feel like they wanted to put Kawhi in like the worst possible situation.
Yeah.
But he ended up winning a championship, which is funny.
That backfired big time.
Because I don't think like, come on, Kawhi for DeMar. I don't think so. That doesn't seem like a logical trade.
I think right now Pop's pretty much having a problem because his team, they were thinking about that kid, the Lonnie Walker kid, who was supposed to be their next big thing. He got injured. DeJounte Murray always gets injured.
Are they still part of the team though?
Yeah, they're still part of the squad. LaMarcus Aldridge is getting up there in age.
Yeah, getting up there in age.
DeRozan is a regular season.
He can't take over the games.
Yeah, he can't take over games. His play style is very. It hasn't grown since the last time I saw him. Anyway, in the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, it hasn't grown. He's not evolved.
Yeah.
I thought that by playing with Pop, we're gonna see like a resurgence.
A different type of DeRozan, yeah.
It was the same.
So the only thing I like about this kid is he fits the Pop mold. That he can shoot threes, he's got good movement off the ball, and he's a smart player.
Yep.
So other than that, there isn't like he's a
takes,
solid player for number 10, if you ask me.
And it says here he takes quality shots. That's what Coach Pop wants.
Yeah.
Don't force shots.
Coach Pop's all about that movement, make the extra pass, and then get the shot off.
Yep, that's
right?
great.
And the player fits his style of doing things. So I think Devin Vassell is a smart enough player to be in a Spurs system. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but I think he's like pretty balanced, right?
Yep.
This one, the next thing that happened is kind of the shocker for me.
Oh, Tyrese
Halliburton, number 11 to the Kings. Number 12, sorry, to the Kings.
What do you think about the Kings, man? Like, I feel like they're just not making an impact this year. Not yet.
Last year the Kings were doing quite okay.
Really?
There was a part of the season they were doing okay. Like, they were in that 8th race.
Let me see some of his stats.
Yeah. So what I like about him is, so this is a guy, Tyrese Halliburton, who was actually projected to go in the top 8. Everyone was saying the Knicks were going to take him, or the Bulls might have taken him, or whoever, right? He was supposed to be up there in terms of selection. But what happened was he's dropped after his injury.
Yeah, he got injured.
But if you ask me, this guy is another guy who is a much better playmaker. Like, at least you got LaMelo, Killian, than this guy. If you're talking about pure point guard playmaker guys, he's up there. He's up there in terms of play style, from what I've seen. And I put him above Denny Avdia in that aspect. He runs the floor well. He's a transition passer, creative passer. He's good, decent enough defensive guy, can shoot the ball, And if you're talking about dictating tempo, I think he is one of the guys who can actually do that.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised he fell all the way to number 12.
Yeah.
The Kings, for me, are like the kind of team that they've always been drafting the same way for years.
Yep.
Just take the best player on the board available and see how it goes, right? I think De'Aaron Fox is a damn good point guard.
He's a great player.
Yeah. And then you've got, what's that fella's name? The one from, was it last year's draw? Bagley. Marvin Bagley. The third, right?
Yeah.
And then this guy. And
I just feel like the Kings have a long way to go, I just really feel like they have a long way to go.
And it's all this hodgepodge of players as well that doesn't make a sense, like in a long-term kind of sense. So I don't know why. But in terms of fit, I don't understand it. But in terms of player, I totally understand it.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a good player.
Yeah, he does look like one.
But my biggest problem with him is he has this thing where I feel like it's a bit like a
I just hope he doesn't get injured too often.
Yeah.
Like, because nowadays, like, even no matter how good you are as a player, if you're always getting injured, there's no point really. So, I just hope he can stay healthy and show us his full potential.
Yeah. I think that injury that happened to him was quite a freak one.
Yeah, I hate injuries. They just ruin like everything,
Yeah, I mean, it practically ruins seasons and ruins teams. And you don't want to see a rookie have an injury problem because that's even worse, right? When you're trying to make yourself big and all that.
Yeah.
My other biggest fear for him is he plays well, but sometimes I feel like he has a very high bust potential.
Really?
He does, because the reason why is because he reminds me of this guy who played for the Sixers a long time ago, was Rookie of the Year, and then got bounced around a lot.
Who's that?
Fuck, his name.
Really?
Yeah, he was a point guard too.
What year was that?
I don't remember exactly the year, but I remember that the kid won
Markel
Rookie of the
Fultz?
Year. No, man, that's now.
Oh no, he didn't get Rookie of the Year. What am I talking about? No, he didn't get
Yeah,
Rookie of
not
the Year.
Markel Fultz. God, I forgot his name. But
Mm.
anyway, the thing about it is he kind of reminds me of that guy, the play style, and I think that he'll be very effective. My main issue with him is when he reaches a stepping point,
It's
and when
peak.
defenses start loading on him,
Yeah.
what's his next go-to?
Can you adjust?
You know, yeah. Because if we see that like he's in the Kings, so there's not exactly that many weapons around him.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot to do with the how do you adapt to the game?
Yeah.
How do you break down defenses?
Yep.
And then how do you read your team's position making to get them into a more open look?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he needs to be able to pull defenders
Yeah.
and give his team more spacing. You know?
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I think that's the good thing about Tyrese Halliburton.
We'll have to wait and
And
see.
That we'll have to wait and see, and I hope he can get better from his injury. You know.
Yeah, me too.
So at number 13,
this is something that I'm actually looking forward to. You know,
Kira Lewis Jr.
although he's gonna be taking Lonzo's position.
I think he's going to be an understudy to Lonzo.
Okay, so the Pelicans is one of my favorite teams actually.
Pelicans.
Yeah. Okay, they got Zion, which is gonna come in, and he hasn't played a full season yet. And then you got Lonzo, who I feel like this coming season is gonna be his best one yet. And then I just feel like the Pelicans has a lot of potential. You got Brandon Ingram, who
Right.
was an All-Star last year.
Yep.
And then now you're adding this guy, but I'm not sure like how is he gonna contribute to this team. Like, how do you think he's gonna contribute?
I think the good thing about him is he can play both the guard spots. So he can pretty much come in and do a job on shooting guard, or if need be, he can do a job on point guard as the bench guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good ball handler. He can score well as well.
Yep.
But
Kira Lewis Jr. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how is he going to contribute to the team as a whole. You know, I'm just at that point. I'm just a little confused. So how is he going to contribute with Lonzo and him playing the same position?
I think the biggest thing you want, look, if you're the Pelicans, right, you want to understand. Let's say Lonzo's playing at a high position, high level, right, and he's connecting well with Zion, and then for some reason you kind of used Lonzo too much. You need him to sit down. Who's going to be a passer that's going to come off the bench for them and make the big plays and make the important plays? They kind of make them last down the stretch. Don't forget also that the Pelicans' usage of Zion is also quite high.
Very high.
It's really high, and you got to consider like. We talked about this earlier. There's some concerns about his longevity.
Yeah,
Zion's longevity. Yeah.
Zion's, I feel like he should lose a little bit of weight, because with the play style that he's playing, dunking every single play and all that, like, you're gonna hurt your knees. Maybe not this season, but the next 4 or 5 years, you're gonna start feeling them. So I hope Zion loses a little weight. Stop dunking all the time.
Stop dunking all the time.
But I feel like that's his strength anyway.
Yeah.
Like bulldoze inside the score. So, if that's your strength, then just do it. But I just want to see the Pelicans win.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like, they got a lot of potential. You got Lonzo and Zion, which is 2 top picks from the last few years.
Yeah.
And then even Brandon Ingram.
Ingram, he's another guy we forget about. But
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram was actually this team's consistent performer last year.
Yep. He is.
Scoring wise, he's definitely due a contract.
It's just during the playoffs. The playoffs. I mean, the bubble.
Yeah, they
weren't
kind of
really-
fell off.
Yeah.
I think they all fell off, not just
They're just
Lonzo.
off rhythm, I think.
Yeah.
They're off rhythm.
That's the thing, right? So now you've got a kid like this. He's gonna come in,
Bring
lead
new
the
energy.
team, give new energy, and also be a sort of a general for the second unit.
Yep.
So that's the most important thing I think he brings
It's
to the
good.
table.
Yeah, every team should have a good bench.
Yeah, that's man. This is
what
what the
makes-
Bulls This is exactly the kind of thing the Bulls need, but they didn't draft that, so whatever.
Last one on our list.
Yeah, actually, our second last one.
Second last one.
The Boston Celtics, Aaron Nesmith.
Aaron Nesmith.
Yeah, he's at he's Boston Celtics pick this season at number 14. To
Okay,
be honest
so
with you about this guy, I'm not like super familiar with him.
okay, so he's more of a scorer. But the thing is, they already have that. The Celtics already have Jason Tatum. They have Kemba Walker, who is a scorer. Kemba is a pure scorer. Can't really defend to save his life. I'm just kidding. But then you have another scorer coming in. I feel like the Celtics are missing something. I'm not sure what that is, but they're missing something. Like they're missing that that
You know what they're missing? Kyrie Irving.
it's funny. It's funny they didn't make it this year to the playoffs, and like a lot of people started tweeting on Twitter. They're like, "You can't blame Kyrie this time," you know.
Kyrie's not there.
Yeah, you can't
Kyrie's
blame.
still there in spirit.
I just feel like something's missing with the. Oh my god! I just feel like something's missing with the Celtics. I'm not sure if that's I feel like they need someone that's like a Jimmy Butler type player who is like, they do have that with Marcus Smart, but I feel like they need someone who has that that ability to take over games.
You know,
I just can't see Jason Tatum doing it. Like I feel like he doesn't have that. You know.
but a lot of people are saying that Jason Tatum is going to be that guy.
He is, but did you see that the playoffs this year?
I did, yeah. And I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I think Jason Tatum is still young enough for people to like go. Let's just give him another year or two and see how he develops into that guy.
Yeah,
You know?
we're waiting to see. I feel like Jason Tatum is a great scorer. I'm not counting him out. He's definitely a great player. I just wish he was a little bit more, like more harder when he plays. Play more harder, not so like. I feel like he's a little sometimes
Naive.
still he looks like he's like he shows that like those tendencies of a rookie player sometimes. So I love players who can play hard, like Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
He can play really hard. I like players like that, So Kemba Walker was a great addition. To be honest with you, I feel like they should have won, they should have won
The series.
this year. But it is what it is.
They got knocked out.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Because I just want to say
They got knocked out by the Miami Heat, who they didn't really have any stars in the team.
But I think the problem with the Celtics, right, is this. Even if you put a guy, Kemba's okay because Kemba gets along.
Yeah.
If you put a guy like Jimmy in that team, I don't think it works because
I'm not saying a guy like Jimmy, but I need someone who's gonna come in there and elevate everyone. Like he's gonna come in there and elevate everyone's game. Like I feel like Marcus,
like CP3.
Like someone who's just gonna come in there and like lead by example. I'm not saying someone like a LeBron who quote unquote makes his players better. Just someone there is going to lead. No, LeBron should not join the Celtics. You know what? LeBron should join the Celtics because he's on my team, the Lakers. I stopped supporting the Lakers because of LeBron, but whatever. But what I'm saying is I feel like the Celtics need someone to come in and guide them.
Right.
Because they don't have that. I feel like they just lack experience. They're still lacking that experience.
That's a really strange. Like I get what you're saying, but that seems like a really like it's shocking that people still say that because they've been in the playoffs 3 years in a row now.
Yeah, but they can't close out. They don't know how to close out.
They always have some issue going on with them for some reason.
Like they'll always show very good potential in the regular season, and then playoffs they'll show like they start winning a little bit, and then like they can't close games.
Yeah.
Or they'll struggle closing the games out. Then they'll probably win, and then like they'll struggle again the next one, and then they'll lose.
I think they're trying to make Jason the guy because
they should make Jason the guy. Like they should build around Jason. I feel like that's what they should be doing.
And then have Jalen be the follow guy, and then have Kemba obviously be the other guy.
Yep.
And they've got their big three in terms of the team hierarchy there.
To be honest, I feel like they should trade Kemba.
Oh, you don't like Kemba?
I like Kemba, but I feel like you should choose whether you want Jason Tatum or Kemba Walker. I feel like Kemba is just he's a scorer just like Jason Tatum, and they need more rim protectors. They need more, like I said, floor generals. Like I feel like Kemba's a little bit.
I think rim protecting is a huge thing.
And he's a liability on defense too. Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
So they should kind of maybe give him to the Clippers.
It's interesting that you brought. I think it's interesting you brought up rim protecting for this team.
The Celtics.
For the Celtics, Nesmith himself is more of a small forward, right?
Yep.
And he shoots the ball well, so he's going to be good at spacing the floor.
Yep.
But they didn't address that center need in this draft, which I thought they should have done. Maybe there weren't many good centers left, which is why. But if you see, ever since they lost Al Horford, I feel like the defense has kind of been.
That was a big loss.
Yeah, it's just I don't think they have that presence anymore in the board area.
I think so too.
So Jalen's a good defender. This kid Naismith can come in and do a job from the 3-point range. He's good at scoring and all. So maybe they're moving away from the inside game, moving more to the outside.
Yep.
Maybe that's what the aim is.
I will just but I hope the Celtics win this year's conference. I think they can.
But the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Don't you think they can?
No.
No, really? Oh,
No, they won't. They won't win it.
Who do you think's gonna win it?
The Nets. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah.
I have a funny feeling about the Nets.
Yeah,
I just feel like we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So the final pick we're gonna talk about for this NBA draft segment.
Cole Anthony.
Yeah, is Cole Anthony, and the reason why he's the pick number 15, Cole Anthony, by the Orlando Magic. What in God's name are the Orlando Magic doing? And I say this because for some reason they are still, despite how messy it looks.
Yeah, they still are showing out.
They're showing out.
They made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
I'm surprised they actually made the playoffs.
What are they doing? How is this working?
And they beat the Bucks one. They beat the Bucks.
Yeah,
one
they
time.
beat the Bucks in a game, and I'm just. It's not. I mean, not like that's an amazing thing or anything, but still, I
They're
have to
showing
say,
some potential there.
Yeah, what is the Orlando Magic? Are they rising? Are they not rising?
The only consistent guy there, I would say, is Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, the dunker.
Aaron Gordon, yeah.
He's the only consistent guy there, I would say. And then everyone else is just who are they?
Yeah.
So, I don't know them.
Vucevic, Evan Fournier, is he still there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Also,
yeah, I thought what's his name? Aaron Gordon has been a consistent player.
He played
for them.
well, actually.
Yeah, he played quite well.
Yeah, they should get him to the Clippers.
Is this gonna be your tagline for every single player?
No, but I feel like they should get
him to the Clippers. Get him to the Clippers.
Just get everyone to the Clippers.
Get anyone to the Clippers.
No, but if you think about it, we'll talk about the Clippers later. But I feel like
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon could be in a better team.
The reason why Cole Anthony is an interesting one is not because of anything that he did or stats or anything. Is that this guy was kind of like I call him like a YouTube favorite.
Yep.
Because there were so many highlights videos and
YouTube
Cole
darling.
Anthony. He's a point guard, so he's considered this athletic scoring guard. Runs around the place, puts up a lot of points.
Yep.
Like your Isaiah Thomas
Point
version
guards
2.
always get the hype, actually.
Yeah, they do.
They're the most exciting. Is that an exciting position?
I mean, it used to be the center position. Now it's the point guard position.
Back then,
Yeah, we're no longer having Stockton and point guard. So times have changed, man. Point guards are superstars now.
Yep.
I think he had a very bad knee injury. This kid.
Cole Anthony?
Yeah,
this
he
year?
was projected to go top 5.
Really?
Before that injury, yeah.
When was the injury?
The beginning of the season, actually.
Wow. Is he okay now?
He's recovered apparently, and he was supposed to replace Kobe White in North Carolina.
Oh.
But his injury kind of sidelined him. And the thing about it was New York fans especially were going, bring him to New York, bring him to New York, because his highlights were so very dazzling and very special, And he's a very exciting scorer, confident, likes to take the board, likes to run the point. And as you know, I think this kind of players are exciting, but then his injury kind of shows me that the danger with having a small point guard like this.
Injury prone?
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember what happened to Isaiah Thomas when he got injured? I'm talking about version 2, not version 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He hasn't been the same since.
He has never been the same since his hip injury.
But actually, he actually made a comment this year saying that he was playing even without fully recovering last season. The season before that. But he said now he's fully recovered now. So he says he's going to be a different player this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Man, I'm going to be silently about it because I don't believe it. Not that I don't believe it. I just think
it's an unbeliever.
It's not about look. Yeah, okay, fine. Shoot the messenger here, but that injury kind of he has not been the same.
But because I just feel like he just wasn't not in a good team position. He wasn't given a chance. He wasn't given a chance. I just feel
he was on the contending NBA championship team, the Cavaliers?
Nah.
For a while.
That was come on. They were not winning either way. They were not winning the Warriors. At the same time, I feel like that team was just flawed, they were trading teams, they traded the whole team again,
That's true.
At the time, so I just feel and then after that
that was a chaotic
to the Nuggets,
thing,
right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't even given a chance. They cut him off after the playoff, once they made a playoff. He was not given a chance ever since. So I just feel like this season he should sign with the team and prove everyone wrong, including Mr. Run the Point.
It's because if you ask me, I'm not. Look, no matter what, we've been through so many times this thing, right? The NBA, and no matter what, no matter what anyone tells me now, how much basketball has changed and how great or more inclusive we are and how we're more towards passing in the center position and all this, it's still a height game.
Yeah.
You still got to have some height. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and it's not to say that short players cannot play, but Muggsy Bogues is never going to be an MVP.
Yeah.
He's going to be a guy we all root for, but he's not going to be a guy I'm going to be like, he's like, you know, up there with Giannis or something.
Isaiah Thomas was an all-star.
He was an all-star, but that's it. That's his ceiling.
Yeah. Nah.
That's his ceiling, and he'll never go above that
Get
ceiling.
him to the Clippers.
Get him to the Clippers.
He'll make a difference there.
This is the difference between a guy like Isaiah Thomas and Chris Paul. Chris Paul knows his role, and he runs the point.
But Isaiah Thomas is a killer, so he should be doing that.
He hasn't killed anyone lately. Like, who have you killed lately, bro? Like, I'm sorry, man, but
No, but seriously, Isaiah Thomas, I feel like he's coming back. He's a Kobe guy.
He's okay, or you know, yeah, all right.
But he'll come back. Trust me.
I like.
Show this video when he comes back.
When he comes back, okay.
Get him to the Clippers, man.
Oh my god.
Him, Paul George, Kawhi. Oh, if you want to defend Kawhi, what are you going to do with Isaiah
You forgot
Thomas?
Patrick Beverly in that somehow.
Oh yeah, Patrick Beverly.
So that concludes our draft recap, and pretty much everything that we talked about in the draft, take it with a grain of salt. We don't hate any of the players. We like all the players,
I like all the players,
Yeah.
especially Puma, LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball, yeah. I'm excited about LaMelo. I'm excited to see what LaMelo will do.
Me too, very excited.
Yeah, and Patrick Williams is. I hope he is okay, love.
Okay.
It would be great if he could. So we're gonna move on now to the next thing we want to talk about, actually, Scal. And you know, now the NBA season's about to start, and already trade rumors are flying around, and trades have actually happened. Free agent movements are happening as we speak right now.
Yep.
And a lot of stuff has happened, but you know, I don't know. Like the Lakers are the defending champs, right? How hard do you think it's going to be for them to defend their title?
Very
and who
hard.
are the contenders?
Very hard. I feel like the Lakers championship this year was a fluke.
Oh.
It was an absolute fluke. It's a Mickey Mouse ring.
Oh
This year, what's up, LeBron fans? What's up, LeBron fans? This year, come on, like let's be honest. You know, everyone was injured this year. You know, and I feel like the whole bubble thing actually benefited them. You know, I'm not making an excuse for everyone else, but no one wanted to play in the bubble this year. You know, and I feel like the Lakers. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm not saying they're a super team.
Right.
But if you look at it, right, okay, you got LeBron, you got AD, who, by the way, AD, he was actually the one that held the. He was the one that averaged more than LeBron the whole season. You know, he was averaging more rebounds, more points, and I just feel like, okay, you have AD, you got LeBron, and then you got Dwight Howard, which I feel like a lot of people kind of like they underrate him so much.
You know what? You heard what Shaq said about Dwight, right?
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it.
I mean, that's a bit. You know, I like Shaq, and Shaq's funny sometimes, but
That you're
I think
overdoing it now.
Yeah, he's overdoing it with Dwight, especially given Dwight's injury problems and all.
Yep.
Like, I feel like he kind of overdid it with Dwight.
But okay, so Dwight's a great player. I just feel like people want to discredit him because they want to say that LeBron took a nothing team,
Scrappy team.
Yeah. So no, don't discredit. You know, Dwight Howard is a great player.
Yeah.
It's not like he was declining. You know, I'm not saying he's as great as he was in the Magics, but he's playing well.
I think one of the reasons why they were able to make the finals was that Dwight and Anthony did so well that they covered Jokic in that final. They defended him really well.
Very well.
And
Very
so
well.
did JaVale McGee.
And then another thing, JaVale McGee, I'm not saying he's a great all-star player
another
or whatever,
person that Shaq
but
dissed.
JaVale McGee has championship, experience. He won twice.
Yeah.
So having that experience, that benefits the whole team because he kind of know what to do when the time comes. So then you also have, but Avery Bradley didn't play.
Yeah, Avery didn't play.
And then you have Rajon Rondo, who's also an NBA champion.
Rondo was a big factor in that.
Huge factor.
Yeah.
So come on, LeBron didn't take a scrappy team to the finals. They got AD. Actually, LeBron and AD, just them both, they're a great enough team already.
Okay, allow me to defend LeBron a bit here, because LeBron did lead the league in assists.
Oh, of course.
Given his age, I mean...
impressive. Very impressive. No one's saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But anyone can give the ball to anyone to score, Anyone can just... I pass you the ball and then you put in the bucket. That's an assist.
So you accusing him of stat padding?
LeBron is a stat padder,
Oof.
you know. LeBron is.
Oof, man.
He's always been a stat padder, bro. Fourth quarter, right?
I
Kobe
can literally
scores.
feel the heat.
Kobe
going to the
scores
screen.
lots of points, and they're winning, and he will leave the fourth quarter. LeBron, they're winning already, like by a lot. He will stay in the game to stat pad. You know, there's a difference between LeBron and Kobe. Kobe wanted to win. LeBron wanted to look good. What's up, LeBron fans?
But I would
You
rather
mad?
say that, okay, take away the LeBron factor is there. But I think what made the Lakers a championship winning team was their defense. If you look at the playoffs,
They are too big.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're huge, and their wingspan and the way they steal the ball. When you got guys like Rajon Rondo, who's the expert at stealing the ball, you know what I mean?
Rajon Rondo and LeBron are two very smart players.
Smart guys, yeah.
Two of them on the team. See, I'm not a LeBron hater. I like LeBron. I'm just chilling with you guys. But you have LeBron and Rondo, which are two very smart players. With AD, he's in his prime. He's
Yeah.
in his prime right
Yeah,
now.
he's
I
in
feel
his
like this
prime.
is in his best. Hungry to win something, hungry to prove. And then you got Dwight Howard, a motivated Dwight Howard, I might add,
Yeah.
who wanted to show the world that he's not, he didn't drop anywhere. And then you got KCP.
Yeah. Although,
I feel like a lot of people are saying he's not a good player. He's a great player, actually. Not a great player, but I mean, like, he's a really good player, actually. He can play, he can shoot. As long as he knows his role, he can play well.
Yeah. So then what happened was the trade for Danny Green for Dennis Schroeder happened. For
Yeah,
the
Danny
Lakers.
Green is one of my favorite players, actually.
Yeah, I love Danny
Shout
Green.
out PUMA, Danny Green. But at the same time, I just feel like this year, the playoff, I don't know what the hell happened,
He couldn't
Like,
score.
he just couldn't score at all.
Actually, he had a lot of those games for Toronto as well.
Yeah, he just couldn't score. I don't know what happened.
But I love Danny Green, even since his Spurs days.
But he was playing well with the Spurs. He actually played well with the Toronto. I'm not sure if you watched the finals last year.
Right.
He was scoring
Yeah,
some
for-
clutch
in
buckets,
finals,
man.
yeah.
He was scoring clutch buckets,
Yeah, but like I said, the thing about Danny Green is that he was pretty much made like this target, like a scapegoat kind of thing for
Yeah.
some of the games, right?
Yeah, him
And-
and Kuzma.
And yeah, him and Kuzma. Well, Kuzma is another story altogether. But I think that Danny Green, people overlook his championship caliber. He went to Toronto, they won a championship. He went to the Lakers, they won a championship. Now they
Two-time
bring in
NBA
Dennis
champion.
Schroeder for Danny Green, right?
Which I feel like it's a great move for the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder has nowhere to go but up.
Right.
And teaming up with LeBron, I'm sure is going to make him a better player. Although LeBron will turn him into a spot-up shooter, a role player. That's what LeBron does,
I hope Dennis Schroeder gets used to like standing at the corner,
The corner.
hitting down the
That's
three.
what LeBron does. He drives to the basket and then throws to someone to the side.
I swear to God, the
That's
Lakers.
that's why he gets a lot of assists. He just throws to someone for them to score.
I swear to God, the Lakers are probably going to have only drills where they take corner threes.
Yeah, they're not winning this year. They're not winning this year. You want to know why?
Okay, yeah, let's hear about this. Who do you think is going to contend with them then? By the way, I just want to say, Jeannie Buss is a freaking genius.
The first women.
Yeah, I think I cannot say enough.
winner.
And the fact that she was able to have the foresight to hire a coach like that guy, Frank Vogel,
Yeah.
to be able to
That guy.
hire Frank Vogel. Sorry, I forgot his name. Frank Vogel, right? Before that, everyone was like, "What the hell is she doing? Why didn't she hire Ty Lue?
Smart.
Oh,
They
he's not the
actually tried.
LeBron guy."
They tried to hire Ty Lue, but he didn't want to.
Yeah, the whole thing was like, this Frank Vogel is not a LeBron guy.
Yeah,
He cannot communicate with LeBron. Jason Kidd is there to communicate with LeBron or something, but it doesn't really matter. The guy drilled
He can
defense
coach.
into this team.
He and coach.
Yeah, he coached them in a defensive team, and they built off that.
Yep.
And I just give props. So now let's talk about their contenders. Who's the contender to the throne?
The Clippers.
Oh God, here we go.
The Clippers are the best team actually in the West.
No.
No, hold on. Hear me out. Last year, the Clippers, this season, they just weren't feeling it, Like, you know how some games, like, let's say, you play football or something, you're the best player, you go to the field, and all of a sudden you're just lazy. That was what
Right.
happened this year. I feel like the Clippers just didn't want to be there. I mean, come on, check the games. They didn't really want to be there. They were playing like they were lazy to play.
They
you know?
did have a boycott at the start
Yeah,
of the bubble.
and they agreed. They actually wanted to leave. They wanted to quit. Like,
But I
stop
do
the
have to
playoffs.
say that even then, I get it. You don't want to be there, and I understand all that. But I think that's why this year is going to be harder for them.
Why?
Because there's a lot of good teams in the West. The West is a never-ending battle trove of things.
Not as good as the Clippers. Let me tell you why. You got Paul George, who is
Right.
coming back, and he's trying to get into his revenge
if
season.
he can even...
His revenge season.
Okay.
He actually said that This year, his NBA rating is going to be 95.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared already just hearing that 95. Oh, it makes me want to go get some PG shoes. I just can't because I'm a PUMA.
Shoes.
But anyway, I feel like Kawhi is going to come back with a motivation as well, a much more, because like he lost this year and many people wrote him off as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like PG, they're both coming back with a chip on their shoulder to win. Although Kawhi, he's already proven to be a champion. But I feel like PG and Kawhi, they want to really show that this duo wasn't a mistake. So they're going to do their best this year. I do feel like they need a better PG. I love Patrick Beverley, one of my favorite defenders. I love the energy that he brings, but they do need a better PG.
They need a playmaker.
Yep, they do.
Why is it that we always have this storyline? Everyone needs a better playmaker now. A few years ago, it was all about scoring point guards, right?
Oh, games changed,
Game
and now and I heard they were going to get Rondo.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Which I hope not, because he's the enemy. He's a Laker, so we want to beat Rondo.
But that's quite common, right? For a point guard who's on free agency, he feels like he gets better value, and if they see value in him, then they would obviously bring him in, right?
Yeah, I'm just trolling, guys. I hope Rondo joins the team. But actually, I wanted CP3.
Like you said, bring him to the Clippers, right?
Yeah, bring him to the Clippers. I wanted CP3, but he went to the Suns. So now we got Rondo. I feel like if we can get Rondo, but Rondo's aging, man. He's getting old.
I mean, because the thing about it is that the Rondo thing's interesting because I literally said that about Rondo and the Lakers. I was like, what are they going to do about him? He's old. But then I sat and I saw him play, and I was like, holy crap. This guy, when the playoffs comes, he is like laser focused. Yeah, so playoff Rondo is a real thing, man.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Playoff P is a real thing too,
I've yet to see it, but okay.
I've seen it a little bit, but so so coming and then, but they traded. Did you see the Clippers traded Shamet?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, they traded Shamet, and they got I forgot what's the guy's name. They got that guy from the Philly,
right?
I forgot the guy's name, but whatever it is, they got that guy.
Yeah, it was. Why would they trade such a young guy anyway?
And Shamet could score. He's a shooter, you know. Like I didn't know.
So like because I don't understand why they would make this trade. Luke Kennard is a decent player. Yeah. Like he's a 3-point shooter, but I think Shamet's a better player. Yeah. Overall,
he played well this year, actually.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they traded him, because he wanted more.
Other than that, they got Ty Lue as their coach this time. He's a player's coach.
Right. That Doc Rivers system that they had before this, now that Doc is out and Ty Lue's stepping in, and Ty Lue is a LeBron guy, is that going to actually help the Clippers?
It's going to help the Clippers, because I feel like a lot of people said that Ty Lue didn't win that chip, LeBron did. So that's probably going to give Ty Lue some added motivation and
that's to beat. You see, that's the thing, right? We will say that, right? Yeah. But everyone on freaking ESPN and stuff says like, oh, why didn't I not hire Ty Lue? I mean, they should hire Ty Lue for everything. Hire Ty Lue for this, hire Ty Lue for that. They overlook Ty Lue. I mean, everyone, it keeps getting shoved down.
They do overlook Ty Lue, because I feel like Ty Lue's a great coach. You will see this season where Doc failed. That's where Ty Lue
succeeds, is it?
So
Kawhi, I kind of have my doubts about Ty Lue.
Don't worry about it. Like the Clippers are going to win this year. Like that's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. I'm just letting you guys know earlier.
Oh boy,
this is a spoiler.
I'm just saying, man. The way they played, okay, put aside the fact that they didn't want to be at the bubble, right? Yep. But even if they didn't want to be at the bubble,
but that's on the Clippers though. You're already there. You should have just made.
But they let Jamal Murray.
Oh my God!
Demolish them. Did you not see that
game? I was so pissed off. I played NBA 2K and beat the Nuggets like on 2K like many times.
I'm just saying that the West is gonna keep throwing people like that.
But it's gonna keep coming. Speaking of the Nuggets, they're a team that everyone should be paying attention to.
But they're not title contenders.
Jamal Murray is coming now. I feel like they will be in the future. Okay. But did you see how they played last season?
Yeah, I saw.
I just feel like they need a few pieces.
But then when they came up against the Lakers, it fizzled. Like especially Jamal Murray.
Well, because I feel like the Lakers. Okay, I feel like the Clippers. They were built to beat only the Lakers. They were not built for any other team except the Lakers.
Unless the Lakers finish in the 8th seed this season, you kind of need to get through 2 other teams first, bro.
Yeah, I kind of have to.
Yeah.
But I do think the Clippers will come with a different mindset this year. They're gonna come with a much more motivated mindset, and they're gonna be playing much better basketball this year. Right. That's what I can really tell you guys. Other than the Clippers, who do you think is gonna win this year?
I think the Nets. Okay, now this is your turn to hear me out, right? Win, I don't know, maybe not win, but I do think the Nets are interesting if they don't trade any of their assets. because they've got Karis LeVert, they've got Jarrett Allen.
He showed out this season, huh? The playoffs.
He did. Spencer Dinwiddie's still there. Then you've got the two guys, Kyrie and Kevin.
Oh, Kyrie's my favorite player. And then you got Kevin Durant, who I feel like Kevin Durant has something to prove as well. Because they said that his championships don't count.
I think KD has everything to prove.
Yeah, because they said that his championships don't count. And I'm sure KD's going to try and show that. And then now you have Kyrie, who he also has a lot to prove. Because they said he's a locker room, cancer and stuff. So I feel like Kyrie's one of the best players ever. I don't know why he gets all this disrespect. NBA fans, I just feel they're so weird. Like, they'll just bash you for no reason sometimes.
I think the biggest problem with Kyrie is the way Kyrie left the Cavs. Because he left the Cavs and said, I want to be my own guy.
I think he left the Cavs just fine because no one wants to play with LeBron. But I feel like it's the way he left the Celtics.
Right, yeah. So that's what I mean, yeah.
So the way he left the Celtics was a little, come on. But whatever, that's fine. It's all in the past. That's a good pick, actually. The Brooklyn Nets, I feel like they're going to play at a really high level.
Yeah.
But I heard they're trying to get James Harden.
That's the interesting thing because for me that will be the make or break thing.
They're gonna need 3 basketballs,
Yeah, look, the fit seems awful, right?
Yeah.
3 guys all need the basketball, all need to take shots, all need to their ISO game. It's ISO City. Brooklyn is ISO City this year.
ISO City.
Yeah, you wouldn't have.
And the bench will not get to play, man.
The bench better just go home.
Yeah, just pass the ball. You're not playing.
You know what? You know what's gonna be funny? It's gonna be like if a player goes into this zone. Over here is Harden Central. Over there
Kyrie.
is Kyrieville, and down there is like KD City. And it's gonna be like you walk into these zones, don't expect to score.
Yeah.
Like grab the rebound maybe.
But we'll see. We'll see. I don't even know if Harden's gonna be joining the.
No, we don't know. I mean, we don't know, but there's some reports.
It's likely to happen. I'm shocked. I'll be shocked if it happened. That's three MVP type players. I mean, Kyrie. I feel like. What do you think about this? Kyrie, 2021 regular season MVP.
Man, you just finished telling me that need 3 balls. Now you're giving me Kyrie.
No, I feel like Kyrie has the potential to be an MVP player.
Look, I mean, if you look at it, there's a reason why nobody in the Warriors is winning MVPs at the moment. Because they've got 3 good players and it splits the votes. The same thing is going to happen here in the Brooklyn because the voting is going to be split amongst these 3 players.
Yeah.
And there's no one. I think if anyone's going to be MVP on this team, it's KD.
Really?
It has to be KD because
KD's coming off an injury. We'll never know how he performs.
I mean, Kyrie's coming off injuries too.
But KD had a much bigger injury.
True. But again, like I said, KD's more like. The reason why I say KD is because you can see KD getting a lion's share of the shooting.
Yeah.
Right? And Kyrie's job in this team will be to facilitate.
Yep.
Right? Steve Nash is going to come in and look at Kyrie and go. By the way, Steve Nash is the coach for the Nets.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the.
And the assistant coach is D'Antoni.
Yeah, I feel like Steve Nash being the coach is something that a lot of people are not looking at. Like that's the glue.
Right.
To all of this.
Yeah.
Kyrie, KD, and hopefully Harden. I feel like that's the glue.
You know why I also say that this team might be a favorite to win the title?
Why?
Because you can't outscore them.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, can you imagine if you get into a scoring battle with them?
Yeah, you can't.
It's like Kyrie has a day off. Yeah, Harden score.
That's cool. You got KD.
You got KD next.
KD's tired. Harden's gonna come in.
Yeah, I'd say Harden's there. And if everything else fails, they've still got Karis LeVert and all these other guys.
LeVert showed out this season in his playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Nets are built to score, so it sort of makes sense. If you look at who's the assistant coach is D'Antoni, and the head coach is Steve Nash. Forget defending. Try and outscore us.
Just keep scoring the ball.
I mean, come at us. It's like anyone walks into that gym thinking that they're going to be able to put more than 120 points every game. You're out of your minds. It's not gonna happen unless Trae Young scores 100 points in a game. Maybe.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
So we're talking about a team that is stacked offensively.
Yep.
Again, I think. Saying Kyrie's going to be the MVP, one of them's going to have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's just how it's going to be.
I mean, I just want to see Kyrie get MVP because he's my favorite player. Actually, I got 3 favorite players. Kyrie, Paul George, Playoff P, and Kawhi Leonard. These 3 are my favorite players. Other than that, what I would like to see this year is, I I don't know. I just want to see basketball go back to the stadiums.
Right.
I feel like the bubble is just, it doesn't feel like it's NBA. It feels like, a gym regular pickup basketball game.
The same comment was made during football, and when I do my football shows and all, usually this comment is made that the stadiums are not there and the crowd is not there, and that's affecting. But I think the NBA, all that's been told, the quality of the game's been better in the bubble.
Really?
When I watch the games, they're more exciting. Like a lot of the games come down to one-score games at the end of games.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's a lack of crowd, yeah, but the games itself are quite entertaining, I think. Can they maintain it over a span? I don't know. And the other thing is also that when you look at it, it's so interesting because without the crowds, it helps
It's
in
fair.
terms of it helps in terms of fairness, and that's why a team like the Clippers, for example, right? They can't afford to take a night off because every team is coming now.
Yeah.
Even if the Rockets are going to somewhat weaken themselves.
But Kawhi, for me, okay, you can argue that LeBron's the best player, today. But I feel like Kawhi is up there with LeBron as the best player.
Yeah, I totally agree. By the way, I agree with you. Kawhi is probably, people are gonna like scoff at this, but I think Kawhi is one of the best players in the world. It's him and Giannis right now. It's their world.
I just want Kawhi to be more aggressive this coming season. Like when he played Miami the first time with the Spurs, he was super aggressive. I feel like this year he was just more chilled.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't blame him because, his team.
I think it just means that Kawhi was having his swan song honeymoon year in Los Angeles.
But next year, they have no reason. They've played one full season together. Paul George, Kawhi. Next year, you got to come prepared. You got to come loaded with a huge missile. And you got to beat Giannis, beat LeBron, beat Kyrie, Durant, Harden, everyone. And then we'll come back on this show and celebrate.
Yeah.
Like I'll color my paper champion, the Larry O'Brien trophy, and I'll bring it here.
Do you think maybe there's like a sleeper you want to talk about who might surprise us all, who are not like it's not such obvious
Lonzo Ball.
pick? Okay, Lonzo. I mean a team, but okay, Lonzo's a good sleeper too. I like Lonzo. I hope he has a MIP. Most improved.
Yeah,
I hope
he is going to be MIP.
I
That's
hope
not
so,
a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Yeah, I hope he does because I love Lonzo. I think he's gonna be great.
If a team, I would say the Timberwolves.
You think Timberwolves?
Yep.
They're gonna surprise you?
They're going to surprise everyone.
For me, the team that I want to pick to be the sleeper team, actually, that not a lot of people are talking about, and technically not a sleeper team either, but it's still a sleeper team, is I think the Bucks.
The Bucks are a sleeper team.
Bear with what I'm saying here because it's all about Giannis.
They were like the number one in the East for the past.
They're the number one in the East, but they get knocked out in the
playoffs,
in every playoff they've been to so far. And I just think that the Bucks are. I think Giannis is at a crossroads now.
But he's loyal, so he's gonna stay with the Bucks.
I like that about him, but at the same time, he's got to overcome this defense that they keep throwing at him, man. They keep stacking everything.
He can't do
around
everything
this guy.
alone,
The defense is even. I'm not a basketball guru or anything, but even I know you funnel him into a specific position, he's ineffective.
Oh yeah, he is. That's his weakness.
It's his main weakness, and
It's always been that way, actually.
Yeah. I just don't know what he's got to find a way, or the team needs to get better.
Yep.
So that's why Giannis has an
They
important.
just
thing
need
to
other
do.
threats in the team.
Yeah.
To where people just stop focusing solely on Giannis.
Yeah.
They need to get. If Giannis is getting double teamed or whatever, there's another guy who's lethal as well. That's gonna get the job done. So that's what I feel the Bucks need. But there's no point anyway because you're still gonna run to the Clippers. Who's gonna end up winning. So Clip Gang, Clipper fans out there, if you're watching, let's get this title next season.
So the final thoughts on the Suns or anything like that? You think they're going to compete?
I would say I'll just give my final thoughts on this whole NBA season. It's probably going to be the best NBA season we've had in the past few years. Because the past few years we knew the Warriors were going to win, and then this year it was a little up in the air and it was a little weird season. Like it went on and then it kind of stopped for a while and came back. And this year I feel like the NBA is going to be more prepared for the season, and we're going to have a great one. Looking forward to see every team perform. The Suns, OKC. I'm curious to see what happens with the Rockets.
Chicago.
Yeah, the Chicago.
Come on, Chicago.
Lakers.
God damn it.
Actually, I'm a huge Laker guy because I'm a huge Kobe fan. But when LeBron came to the team, I just felt like Lakers were no longer Lakers. It became LeBron fan curse. You know.
The Warriors.
Warriors.
If they can.
It's
get
kind of
past
sad
them.
that Clay got injured, but
Yeah.
yep. Other than that, that's my final thoughts.
Yeah. That's been our first episode of Run the Point. And I want to thank you guys for being here with us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. More details in the below here. And we will look forward to seeing you again. And don't forget, guys, to run the point.
Thanks for having me, bro.
No problem, bro. Hey, hopefully more to come, yeah?